So here we are at month 4. July was honestly the best month so far for my little card business. Between vending at my very first show, growing the brand and seeing sales pick up, things are really starting to feel real now. But it hasn't been all smooth sailing. There's been some struggles, lessons to learn, and some big plans that I'm finally ready to share. So stick around because I'm going to be breaking down the numbers, what's been working, what hasn't been working, and the future of this business, including some really exciting moves that I'm going to speak about towards the end of the video. So if you're new here, just a reminder that my name's Alan from Jumpin' Jack Cards, and I've started a Pokemon card business with £100 a month, and I'm seeing what I can grow it into. I'm really enjoying it so far. So if you want to stick around for following me on the journey, I'd love it if you could subscribe, like, share, and do all that good stuff. So now back to the real stuff. So let's get into the numbers and see how we did this month. So on Card Market this month, we sold a total of 55 cards to the value of £147.97. That's good. On eBay, we sold 2 mystery packs. That is the palette mystery pack that I have that I sell at shows also. Sold 2 of those for £8 each, so that's 16. In total, that is £163.97. And at the in-person vending show, I ended up doing about £220 worth of sales. A few of the people who I was speaking to, the vendors, said it was a little bit less than usual because it was kind of like a mid-month show, whereas usually at the start of the month people would have just been paid and stuff, and there was also another show on that month that people had been to. So I think I'm very happy with the amount I made for the first show. 220 is very good for me. Yeah, it's more profit to roll into next month, or more income even to roll into next month. So happy with that, and let's go through the expenses. The expenses this month, I bought an inventory restock from a friend of mine, JJ Games, and I spent £115 on that. I have other videos going through what was in the restock. I had to buy a 6-foot folding table just to have for going to events in case they don't have tables. I bought a folding cart for transporting stock, and I bought 100 hard-backed envelopes for sending out. So the 6-foot folding table was £35 from Amazon. The folding cart was also £35 from Amazon, and the envelopes were £10 for 100 envelopes. So the expenses this month came to £194.97. My income and my expenditures, I've got income of £383.97, £163.97 of expenses. So that would leave me with a profit of £189 this month. So very happy with that. Constantly on the move, away from zero, which is good. More money to buy stock with. I'm very happy with that. So one of the biggest highlights of July was vending at the Think Nerd Pokémon Club in the Antrim Library. So it was my first time setting up a table or anything like that, and it was great. It was a great experience to see people getting cards they want and see how excited they were to come up to the table. Everybody was just having a great time, and it was a really nice atmosphere and a great community to be part of. But in terms of the actual vending of it, I did learn a lot of things. I learned a lot about my pricing and a lot about setting up the table. I didn't take any trades this month, or I didn't buy anything this month because I thought it might be too hard for me in terms of doing all the maths and everything that's needed for that, comping out cards and doing all that sort of stuff. I didn't really have time for it because as my first show, I really wanted to focus on customer experience and being there for everybody who asked me questions. There's something that I find so important is for brand recognition and for awareness and for the customer experience. You have to be there for the customer. You have to be able to speak to them. You have to be interested in what they're interested in. And that came quite easily for me because I am already interested in what they're interested in. I'm genuinely interested in how people are collecting, what they're after. If I didn't have what they wanted, I made a note of it just to see if I could get it in my next restocks to have for them next month, because I think building these relationships with the customer is so important for when I'm going to be moving into my own website eventually and selling product, because everybody's selling it at the same price. If everybody's selling at retail price, there has to be a reason somebody wants to buy from me over somebody else. And I think getting to know the customers at these monthly shows, where a lot of the customers are the same people, will be very important for that. So in terms of the struggles for this month, I think I struggled the hardest with trying to find product for a good price. It's kind of like, it's very hard to find something like that, because distributors just are not an option at the minute. Like, everything's closed. So I have signed up to some, but I'm on waiting lists to get access to product. The only other places you can go are like Discords or asking people to buy collections and things like that. And oftentimes they're also sellers and resellers, so they're not wanting to sell for less than market. But if you do kind of take a lot of product, people will be happy to knock down some price on that. So that's kind of been my route this month, but it has been a struggle to get some decent inventory. So aside from that, I'm also trying to build out the brand of Jumpin' Jack cards. I went through a whole rebrand exercise in the background with myself, rebranding everything from the logo to the signage to every sort of touch point that people will be interacting with my brand. It's so important that this is also consistent all the time, and I'm going to go into this in a different rebranding video to sort of get my ethos about the brand out there, so you'll have to watch out for that. But just basically what I'm saying is, it's so important that everything is consistent, everybody knows what your brand is about, and just everything feels like part of one cohesive experience for the customer. Another struggle is doing this, so it's keeping the content up, keeping regular content while also balancing a 9-to-5 job and a family with 2 young kids. It's not easy, especially now that I did the first vending event, which took up one of my Saturdays. It took up a lot of time on the Saturday, but it was fantastic, and it's so important for me. I'm lucky my wife's been very supportive with me on this journey, and yeah, I would like to thank her so much for this, because she's taken on a lot of responsibility while I'm trying to grow this in terms of looking after the kids and stuff like that. So I really do appreciate that. So what are the future plans? Well, looking ahead, I had initially thought I'm gonna go and create a website. My initial plan was just to set an arbitrary date of January. I'm gonna launch a website in January. I'm gonna try and get some Japanese sealed product imported and try and start selling that by booster pack and by booster box. And I don't think that's a bad idea, but I think it was a bad idea to choose January, because if I'm trying to sell something, I probably shouldn't be trying to sell it at the worst time of the year and launch a website when no one has any money after Christmas. So I'm bringing that plan forward a few months, and I'm hoping to launch a website in the upcoming months once I find a supplier that I'm happy with from Japan to bring in that sort of sealed product. I'm also looking to start offering graded cards in both my online offering and in-person vending. I have a couple of shows booked to do in-person vending at, so I'm very excited to do that. I absolutely love the vending part of it. Meeting everybody is so important, and to have a good stock is so important. It will help to set me apart from other vendors. And I want to offer something that people want to buy, really. Another part of the plan for the future is really to try and push that distributor access. It's so hard to get product at wholesale, but there are certain avenues you can go down, like TikTok do offer vouchers sometimes where you can get up to £50 off or £100 off in some cases to buy booster boxes. So when you're buying them at retail, you're able to get a discount on those. Which takes them down to a little under retail, which means you can make a very small margin, but I think for me at this point, the small margin is okay. It's more about having the product to offer and building the brand around people. How do I say it? I want to build a reliable brand where people can trust me and they know they're getting good product at good prices. And that could mean very little margin for the first few months. That's fine for me. As I said before, I'm running this in addition to my normal job. So I'm lucky that I don't need to rely on this income for now. But it always is my plan to try and transition this from more than just a side hustle into like a fully functioning brand, and to have Jumpin' Jack cards as my main income would be my main focus. So that's month 4 in a nutshell. July was a real turning point for me with my first show. The sales are growing. I'm learning every week, and my vision for the brand is getting more cohesive and it's getting more consistent. The progress I'm making is real. I'm very excited about it. I feel like it's really catching on with people in the community, and that's really what I want to do, is build a big community of people who I know personally in some cases, now that I've met them multiple times. It's building a trustworthy brand. It's tough, like there are struggles obviously, like I've mentioned, and to be kind of working 24/7 when I'm not sleeping is a grind, but it's a grind that I want to do. And as I mentioned earlier on, I've had great support from friends and family, and my family's, my wife especially. So I'm ready for it. I've got the energy for it. I'm so excited. I'm hungry to build this brand. When I see other creators like Max does Pokémon, I watch a lot of his stuff, and he's just started a shop. He started building out a shop, and it is really impressive, his journey. I want to follow a journey like that if I can. So yeah, if this has been interesting to you, if this is the kind of thing you would like to follow along with, I'm documenting every step of my journey and sharing it with you guys. So yeah, just if you could like this, share this, subscribe to this, go to my Instagram, my TikTok, my card market, my eBay store, and interact me across all these different channels. I love hearing from people. I reply to everybody. And it's crazy how much progress I've gone on so far. Month 5 is going to be even bigger. I've got at least two events booked alongside selling online. So yeah, hit subscribe if you want to see how this journey goes. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.